What is going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this broadcast, we're going to be bantering about my predictions for the divisional rankings for the American League Central Division. But before I get into mine, let me know yours down in the comment section below. Who is winning the American League Central Division for the upcoming 2023 season? Let me know that down in the comments or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, where we can keep the conversation rolling. But for now, we begin with my number 5. Now, the fifth team on my list is the Kansas City Royals. I think that when you look at what the Royals have done this offseason, it's been a lot of moving around the internal parts that have been so successful for them over the past couple of seasons. I also think that the Kansas City Royals are going to be going through a massive rebuild right now. Yes, they have a tremendous star in the making of Bobby Witt Jr., but they have to build around him. And I think that there's going to be a lot of growing pains for the 2023 Kansas City Royals. With this front office kind of having traded away some of the guys who have been key contributors for them, or at least key defensive components, it's really calling into question what the direction of this franchise is. So clearly for me, it is going to be about rebuilding, starting from the ground up. And right now that places the Kansas City Royals in 5th place. Now, number 4 on my list is the Detroit Tigers. I think that when you look at what the Tigers did last offseason, heading into 2022, they were trying to be a much more competitive team. It didn't work. But now, here we are, another season in. I think that for the Tigers, they're going to continue to try to build this team up. Are they going to spend as crazy as they did when their owner, Mike Ilitch, was still alive? No. The owner now, his son, is going to be a bit more frugal in the way that he kind of builds out this team. That being said, he is still investing in this team. The Tigers are going to try to be competitive. They just had a regressive season from many of their star players. I think that going into this 2023 campaign, we are going to see a bit more of a progression from some of these guys. I think we get a bounce back season from Javier Baez, which is going to be very, very big for them because this was the big ticket money item that they acquired last offseason during the offseason when they signed him as a free agent. For me, the Tigers are in a position where they're going to start getting some contributions from their young players, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green. To me, this is going to be the season where they start to progress forward and start to help get the Tigers back into a position of contention. However, the teams that are ahead of them are still going to be better this present season, even with some potential growth out of their star players. So for now, the Tigers find themselves in 4th place in the American League Central. Now, as we get to number 3 on my list, it is the Chicago White Sox. Injuries absolutely hampered and derailed the White Sox in their efforts in 2022. This was the team that many people believed was going to win the division. However, this upcoming season is going to look like a very different team. The acquisition of Andrew Benintendi to me is going to play a big role because this is a guy who's going to be contact oriented. I think that they had a lot of guys on that White Sox squad that were trying to hit the 500-foot home runs with 10 runners on base, which is impossible for them to do. Being able to bring in a guy who's going to try to put the ball in play, be a better defender in the outfield, to me is going to help the White Sox get better. But I don't know that they have necessarily done enough, especially with potential regression from some of their guys, maybe coming back to more of a realistic state than what they were a couple of seasons ago. So for the White Sox, I think they're going to come in 3rd place, but it is going to be a very competitive top half of this division. Now, number 2 on my list is the Minnesota Twins. With all of the offseason drama that surrounded Carlos Correa, you know he's going to come out and try to prove himself this season. I also think that for the Minnesota Twins, there's a lot of questions as to who and what they're going to get from Byron Buxton. Who is the real Byron Buxton? Is it going to be a perennial injury-prone player as we have seen thus far, or are we going to see him take it to that next level, be healthy for a full season, and compete for a most valuable player in the American League? We have to wait and see how that's going to play out. But I think that with the moves that they've made, the acquisition of Pablo Lopez to me was a very big move for the Minnesota Twins. Again, bringing back Carlos Correa to me was another huge, monumental, game-shifting change for the squad going into this 2023 season. I think that had they lost out on Correa, not had anybody specifically solidified for that position, he was really going to push them back, maybe to third in this division, maybe even fourth, depending on what else the Tigers could have done. But to me, being able to bring back Carlos Correa, who is going to give this team a fire, is really going to be what helps the Twins get back to a position of contention and towards the postseason. If we can get a healthy season from Byron Buxton in 2023, the Twins could absolutely take hold of this division and run away with it. But for now, with the health questions that are going to surround Byron Buxton all season, this team, the Minnesota Twins, comes in at number 2. Now, number 1 on the list, obviously, therefore, is the Cleveland Guardians. Last season, they were very much overlooked until they started to run away with the division. There's no doubt about it that this is just as strong of a team, if not stronger. The Guardians in 2022 were one of the best, most well-rounded teams, except for one area. They lacked power. Bringing in Josh Bell, Mike Zunino is going to help that power department. Is it going to completely change the face of this franchise and the way that they've built this team as a contact-oriented team? No. But being able to get a little bit better, a little bit more power, a little bit more home run potential from this lineup is only going to stand to help them. To me, the Guardians are still the class of this division, and therefore they come in at number 1. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, baseball fans, down in the comment section below. Who are you picking as the number 1 team in the American League Central for the 2023 season? Let me know down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, where we can keep the conversation rolling. If you want to show support for this channel, head over to Twitter, follow us there at banter_baseball. Follow our Instagram and TikTok pages at Baseball Banter Broadcast. And if you can do so, head over to our blog site, laracuenteledger.com, where you can follow us for articles daily in the world of Major League Baseball, as well as many other things. And if you want to show even more support for us here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, you can do so by heading over to our merchandise shop, baseballbanterbroadcast.com. We have a ton of promo codes you can use to save on your Banter merch. I want to thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already done so, smash that subscribe button, as more than 95% of our audience has not yet subscribed. So if you are one of those that hasn't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the bell for post notifications, so that each and every time we drop a new broadcast here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, you will be notified. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next broadcast when I come to banter about the world of baseball. Peace.